light turns. Welcome to Grace on Fire, bravely creating with wild abandon that which sets our hearts on fire. And we
love that.
So I love it. Yeah,
I love it.
That's our motto.
Yeah, that's cool. I hadn't heard that before.
We are so blessed and we are so honored, and I am so grateful to have this amazing woman on our show today, Connie Breeze. Connie Breeze has been in every aspect, has had positions in every aspect of the music industry. She's done live events, she's done TV, she's done radio, she's done touring, hosting, everything you name it, albums, records, you name it. She is our music business guru, goddess. Connie, I am so happy that you're here. Thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
You've been in all aspects and all positions of the music business. You know it all. I was wondering what your favorite memories are of your career, and I want to know what do all of these things have in common?
You know, I was just saying to a friend of mine who I've been in radio with for a long time last night, you go through Facebook looking for something and you see so many moments that you forgot. You know, I think I'm not that busy. I go to do something, I come home, but when you look at, you know, oh, we got to do this, and oh yeah, Huey Lewis came by, and oh yeah, Journey was here, and remember the time we did that funny thing. We really get to do things that are so great that most people don't get the opportunity to do, you know. And I really consider that an honor, and I've always been grateful. Like I always go, thank you, God, that I woke up, I knew what I wanted to do, and I got to do what I wanted to do, because many people have a passion and they don't get to do it. My memories are always with the artists. I came out loving the artists, wanting to know about them, having compassion for them. So I started in radio. I went to Los Angeles to write for a music magazine. And while I was there, I was at a convention, and Andre Harrell, who was running Motown at the time, came up and said, I'm taking over Motown and I want you to be the West Coast director. And I said, I've never even been in a record company. He said, you'll figure it out. The touring with Boyz II Men, Stevie Wonder, Queen Latifah. I grew up in Detroit. So this is the only job I ever wanted to have. And I couldn't believe he called me. He didn't even know me. And for me, it was the touring, because you get to see who these people really are. And even though the OJs are famous and they get on stage, one of them might have a situation with a child, or a child might get sick, or they might get sick of hotel rooms, or they don't feel well, or something happened at home. And we never see the things that go on with them day to day, and they have to get on stage irregardless. And I always really respected that about them, and tried to protect them and make sure their time before they went on stage was isolated and good for them, so they could just do their thing. And they're genius at compartmentalizing. You know, Eddie Levert's brother died, and he got on, in his house, and he got on stage the next day. Ugh. I said, how do you do it? He said, it's the only way I do it. It's my therapy. Lets me focus on something else. So those Motown years were my favorite years. That closeness, that touring. I've loved everything I've done. I love being in radio now. But when I look back, I go, oh man, that was so fun. Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. I love that. The compartmentalizing, and to see that and to support them in that. What a great job. And to have that be your passion, your heart's desire from day one, and to have it all manifest for you in such a big way, in all kinds of ways. How powerful is that? Blessed are you.
I really have always known because my father worked at General Motors. My mother worked at DuPont. I remember sitting in the back of Eddie Levert's yard going, what am I doing here? How did I get here? Like, what am I doing in your yard? Because the family legacy wasn't like that. But it's been an honor and a privilege. And I have to tell you, being on television and radio, I don't have to be famous. That's not my thing. I love doing things from the back, putting together a concept, putting together an idea, and then watching it come off and
Wow.
watching the artists love it. You know, I'm grateful to be on radio because it's easy for me and people want me to be there. So I get to make my living that way. But I've never been I don't need the fame. I just need the gratification.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, Connie. So grateful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So I have
Always.
another question for you.
Okay.
So what are the let me read this. What are the biggest changes in broadcasting since the pandemic?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how do you see this affecting the future?
The changes have been wide sweeping, sudden,
Mm.
and not liked by most people. Now, I have a saying, he who gets it first wins. So in December, I was having a really great year. And I said, you know what? I'm going to buy some of my own equipment. I don't know why I'm thinking this. I just know anything could happen.
Wow.
Right? People had been bugging me for years to get my own equipment. I didn't do it. So I got it and I hooked it up. And that was in December, and January 17th, I was let go from a station I'd been on for 10 years.
Mm.
So I just went in my closet where I built my studio. I'm on 5 stations in LA, laid those shows down, and was so very grateful I followed that intuition. Now, radio is really like feeling the impact of this. They've let go most of their really big personalities that make the really big money, and I have said to my brothers and sisters, and they don't want to hear it, get some equipment, track for 2 or 3 radio stations that will give you your money every month, because that's the way it's going. Stations are not going to come back and go, oh, let me go get that 6-figure person again,
Mm.
because they have to recover from all the advertisers canceling. So the wave of the future is me in my closet. I do 5 stations in LA. I do the Greg Mack Show. I do commercials. And I have a feature called The Old School Lunch. And for guys that have always been driven, and it's about the, making it happen in the office and getting out for the personal appearances, those days are over
Mm.
for 80%. And guys call me and I try to tell them, and then I hear crickets on the other end. I go, I know you didn't like what I just said, but if you need me, call me. A friend of mine, Dana Wolkoff, and he has a company called Envision Radio Networks. I said, Dano, you should put up a page of people who are available to track all these people that have lost their jobs. Because when these stations come back, they're going to be looking and not know where to look.
Mm.
And you can barter it with them. They won't have to even pay for it. Well, he put it up, and at the end of October, it looks like it's going to really take off. So it's a new way of offering service, you know?
Absolutely. How powerful that you had that intuition, that you went out and bought the equipment, set it up in your closet of all places.
Which is where we are now.
Oh, I love it.
We are in my beautiful closets.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's that is so amazing, Connie. People will say, I don't have the space or give excuses, but you're like, no, I've got a space in my closet. I'm gonna buy the equipment and do it in my closet. How wonderful and
And I
genius.
panicked. I panicked, right? But I called Greg Mack's producer. He goes, you need 3 things. I'll send you pictures. He sent me pictures. I said, I can do that. I hooked it up.
Beautiful.
People I go, don't be afraid of the confront. Just call me. It's just one step at a time. But they'll slowly get their minds around it. They're going to have to.
You are an inspiration. That is inspiring. That is so
Thank you.
inspiring.
I'm a survivor. I'm like, this is what I want to do. How do I do it? But I have great people who've mentored me and told me and said, this is what I would advise. And so I've been very fortunate. I've had great people around me and great teachers. Yeah.
Like attracts like, Connie.
Ah, thank you.
Wow, that is so inspiring. And I know that's going to inspire a lot of other people because you used with very little resources, you created something absolutely fantastic.
And you don't have to go to Office Depot or a restaurant, or you don't have to come out of your profession to work. You just have to take a second, don't panic, and then figure it out. I'm not tearing up the world by any means, but I have great relationships, people who say, when I can, I'll hire you. It's a long-term thing,
Oh, yeah. Well, did you say 5 LA stations?
Mm-hmm.
It's a few shows and that's it. It's pretty fantastic.
I thought it was just an Oxnard, and I was driving through the valley one day and I went, what? Because I heard myself on the radio. I didn't know.
Wow.
Yeah. God's really good to me. I always fall into the craziest things, and more than I could have ever thought of or dreamed.
It's your positive attitude.
I'm very grateful. I have a great relationship with God, and I don't push. I ask for, what should I do today? Who should I be kind to today? What should I put out? And they just come. And I work hard. I have a great reputation because I've worked hard.
Absolutely. It's the combination of both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Asking, and you ask God, your higher power, and then you're not afraid to go into action and do what you need to do.
And you know what else I've learned? There's nothing I have to have. I might want something like, ooh, I want to work with that guy. I want to do that. And if somebody passes me by, I just go, okay, well, I'll just move on to what else I'm looking at, because I went after those things and was mad and when they didn't happen, and it turned out they weren't the right things for me anyway.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Connie. So inspiring. I have your third question here.
What
and I am so excited to hear what you're going to say. What is your personal pandemic blessing?
Oh.
Or blessings?
Yeah, so many things. The number one thing is I was running so fast, so hard for so many years that I didn't stop to enjoy my life. I mean, I traveled the world, but I didn't just call friends because I needed to slow down and lay down. And it was the biggest fear I had. And it's the greatest thing that's ever happened, because it lets you stop and go, what do I think? What do I feel? What do I want? Not, let me go kill myself for another company for 70 hours a day. And if there's something left for me, I'll figure it out. So you can use it. This pandemic has been used for people to take them to a not good place, or people to say, well, I'm just going to bless this up and do everything I've wanted to do and find out what I want to do. And, my husband and I have been together since January in this house. We're having a ball, not one fight. We go to the gym. What else do we do? That's it. We go to the gym. We come home. I do my thing. He does his thing. But I got a chance to look at some things I really wasn't happy with about myself. And then I got to say, well, do you want to get mad about them or work on changing them? And so I called a professional and said, I don't like these things. Can you help me get to this place? And that's what I chose to do. Yeah, because, obviously this stuff wasn't working. Whatever was going on in the world wasn't working. We
Mm.
went as far as we could, as fast as we could. And if we come out the same, it's not going to work.
Mm.
We got to come out different. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful.
Do you feel that way?
Well, yes, let's move into our conversation aspect.
Okay.
I love what you said, Connie, because it is for me as well. It has actually been a blessing in a lot of ways. I mean, I see the, you know, the difficulty of it and the challenge. It has been financially challenging. I had to close John's Place, which is my fair trade market in honor of my beloved son here. And so there's been some things, but I have it very similar to you is slowing down, going more inward, staying home more has been a major blessing. I had a lot of live events like you were doing a lot, hosting a lot of live. It takes a tremendous amount out of, it took a lot out of me. Doing events took a lot, and there wasn't a super amount of benefit. They were fundraisers, and I usually didn't raise too much money. So it was like a lot of work for a little bit of effort. And shutting those down, even shutting down the cafe, John's Place, the market and cafe, and bringing that energy more into myself. And similar to what you says, what is it that I want to do? What is it that nurtures me? So that's been, now I'm getting that opportunity to really find out what nurtures me and slow down, not have to be out in the world, be more inward into my own heart, my own space, fill up my cup, do things from home. I love doing it from home. Everyone I've talked to that's working at home, I haven't heard one person that say they don't like it. Everyone's like, I love it. I love getting my jammies.
I love it. I wasn't home 5 minutes a week before the pandemic. I said to Reggie the other day, remember when we didn't get out of bed for a month? That was the best. You know, because there's no conspiracy. See, there's a conspiracy out there. You got to be going, doing. Well, nobody can throw that conspiracy at you because you can't go, do. So you get the freedom to choose. I'm never going back to an office again, ever. I'm not.
Either. I love this. I love working at home. I love it's easy. It's easier. It nourishes me more. I'm really loving it. I know a lot of other people that really enjoy it. You know, it's nice to I take walks with friends. There's things I do to keep some social. But it's a time on the planet, a yin time, an inward time for everybody, and everyone's going in. And I think it's a time where we can actually really go inside and go deeper into our own being and connect and go into those roots and that root system of our soul, our connection to our God, our higher power, and let that kind of come up through the ground and into our being, rather than being so distracted and out there and, you know, really depleting ourselves.
Yes. And, you know, I used to say to God, I'm on the run, but I'll get to you. You know, now it's like my basis for everything, you know, because you stop, you kind of like, well, I think I'll paint the house or I'll sew some clothes. And then you realize, okay, I'm out of time. I really need to get my relationship with God going, because that's the most important. And it really is. It really is. Yeah. There's so many things so many of us wouldn't have gotten through did we not know that. You know,
absolutely is the most important. My son would say the categorical imperative, most important.
I love that. I wish I could have met him.
Oh, I'll send you a video of him. It's on our top of our website, oneworldstudio.com.
Okay.
There's a little video of him. He speaks in it a little bit. And I know he's already met you and he loves you. Yes. Yeah. And that is our categorical imperative, is that connection to the God of our understanding, our higher power. Everyone has maybe a different name or a way of expressing it. And But I think that that is one of the blessings, like, you know, we were talking about the blessings of the pandemic is I believe a lot of people are connecting to the God of their understanding, their source, their creator, however the names they use. And that's the inward part when we're connecting to our soul. Our soul is one with God, and we're all, I think that this is going to affect the whole planet ultimately in a very positive way.
I agree. I think after we get through this long, dark tunnel, we're going to come out to a really great place, you know, a really better than we've ever lived. But the question is, what's my motivation? I ask God that every day. Just lead my motivation. Don't let it be selfish. I'm reading this book. Remember, it was to be a go-getter. This book's called Be a Go-Giver.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, and I love it. And I think a lot of things that were like philosophically God and spirit and all that came to land as real things as this pandemic hit, real tangible things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not just this, you know, thing out there that we can't touch or feel or understand, but now it's really working in our lives, and we're all connecting deeper to this aspect. And sadly, with humanity, there are times when one thing that has confused me is a lot of times when we go through struggles, we do reach for God. And the other thing is when the world goes through struggles, we come together. And that's the one thing that I've been a little sad about in this pandemic. I had like 9/11, we all came together so strong, even other countries. And with the pandemic, there seems like there's been more separation, and that makes me a little sad.
It brought out the worst in the American people. Me, I got to get all the toilet paper. I got to get all the soap. I got to, and you know, we have a leadership that is very divisive, and that's his modus operandi, separate the people. And so people are just following what's been shown to them, but not everybody. Some of us are saying, how can I help you? What do you need? Staying with our friends. You know, I make more outward just how are you phone calls than I've made in years.
Yeah.
And I think too, everyone has had a tragedy. Everyone has had a very sad tragedy. And we can now understand more how those people feel and how we can be there for them. Because it's just not happening over here and over here. It's happening in all of our homes with all of our friends or family in some way.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I mean, with my loss of my son at
Mm,
25, that
mm.
was 3 years ago. It's been an absolutely devastating loss for me. The first 2.5 years, I don't even think I was here.
I
I,
imagine.
it was hard to do even the smallest thing. I didn't open mail for 2 years. I just made me nauseous. Everything made me nauseous. Um, but I'm coming back. He actually, one of my inspirations for starting this Grace on Fire back up again is he and my son-in-law were they did the filming, and my daughter did the editing and the scheduling. And it was something, and he was my first conversation, my first guest. So I'm doing it as a continuation of something that he and I did together, and I'm starting to come back. So I'm grateful
Yeah.
to continue this back again. But we all have tragedies, and in losing my son, which was the most tragic thing that has
Oh,
ever happened to me.
can't imagine.
I mean, I would even say, you know, I could I could get by if anyone in my life died but my children. There's just no way. I not don't take my babies. Do not take my babies.
There's no reconciling that.
Don't
It's
take
just
my
not.
babies. And
Yeah.
I'll never be the same. Hopefully, eventually, there'll be a better version of me that evolves. And I'm grateful to be forwarding his global movement for peace, his One World Humanity, and channeling his messages and doing the Grace on Fire and trying to do my contribution to humanity. But you know, it's when we have these tragedies. I was a hospice volunteer, and I used to visit elderly people, and everyone had you know, challenges and triumphs in their life. But I noticed something really powerful in visiting these, you know, people that were dying, and most of them were very elderly. They either became bitter older people
Mm-hmm.
and let all those tragedies make them bitter,
Mm-hmm.
or they became just softer and open and loving, and they had just as many tragedies. And talking to them, they had just as many hardships, but they got to choose. Am I going to let life close me down and make me hard and bitter, or am I going to let life open me up and make me a better channel for God, for the universe, you know, for the world? What's my choice? And it was a wake-up call for me. It was just a beautiful, beautiful just understanding of, I'm going to just, I remember saying to myself, I'm going to be one of those older people that no matter what happens in my life, whatever tragedies, I'm going to allow that to open me up and make me a more loving and more expansive person on the planet, rather than be one of those grouchy, cranky, bitter people.
And all the other dwarves. But you know what? You're of service to people too. You use that as of service to others, and that's the highest good. You know, you can really feel that your son's around you.
Oh yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
you
you,
can really feel him
thank you,
strong.
Connie.
Yeah, you can.
Always,
Yeah.
always, he is always,
Mhm.
never leaves me, never leaves me. Thank you for noticing that.
Yeah, you can really feel it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, nobody gets out of life alive, and nobody gets out without their share. You know, you always think, I go, oh, that poor person. Then something happens, you go, I can't believe this is happening. But, you know, everyone gets it. And I think this is the whole journey. How do we learn to get through life with ease, grace, and dignity, come what may? And I think the pandemic has been the biggest lesson of, oh, I'm not in control. Oh, okay. I'm not in control. Oh, oh, that, you know, really, it's been a wake up for a lot of people. And people who think they are in control are still kicking and screaming, you know? And I'm like, how's that working for you? You know, you still can't get on a plane and go to Paris. So calm down.
Yeah.
Entitlement's a tough thing to get over.
Mhm. Yeah, it's acceptance. It's acceptance. And
The
I have
key.
committed, I like just before the pandemic, as I had mentioned, my mom passed in March, and it was an extremely painful, very hard situation. There was a lot of details. And then the pandemic happened right after that. And when I came home after being with her and the situation and the circumstances, I, I just committed. I just said, I am not going to go into fear.
Right.
I am not going to allow, I mean, I've just been through hell. It felt like,
Right.
and I am going to see the good. I'm going to commit to peace. My son created a global movement for peace. So I says, I would be a strong hypocrite if I'm going to forward his one world humanity, you know, global movement for peace, and be in conflict and lack of peace myself. I just committed. He tells me all the time, peace is always a choice. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It does not matter. It is always a choice. It is always a choice, and that choice is always, peace is always there. It's always, always available, regardless of the circumstances. And that was just my choice, to choose peace regardless. I couldn't go to Costa Rica to do our annual project. Well, there's other things to do. We can
Yeah.
go next year. Things
And
like
by
that.
the way, people don't understand that takes a discipline. As much as it takes a discipline to learn a new language or learn to work out or learn a new job, it's people think you just go, oh, I choose peace. No, it's work, but you choose it. And when you choose it, the work brings you wonderful dividends. It's not easy. We go, I choose peace, but it looks like, oh, I choose peace, you know?
And I cannot say that I'm in peace 100% of the time.
Right.
What I choose is when I feel myself going into less than deep peace, I do my practices. I do my breath work. The biggest thing I do, because after my son passed, I had intense dread, anxiety, panic, uh, almost all day, every day. And the one thing that got me through it was gratitude. Chanting, thank you, thank you. Sometimes I just lay in bed with such intense dread and anxiety and panic, and I just wouldn't get out of bed until I chanted it for an hour some mornings. Just thank you, God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And that chanting of that thank you would, at some point, and now when my anxiety still comes up for me, it sometimes, it very much less often, maybe once or twice a week, I'll just get a little, used to be all the time after he passed. And I just go, thank you, thank you. Within like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whoop, back to peace.
Yeah. And the object's not to stay there all the time, because that's not realistic. It's just knowing how to get there. Do you listen to Abraham Hicks?
I have listened to one CD of Abraham Hicks a long time ago, and I have friends that listen to Abraham Hicks. And right now I am with channeling my son. I am not, I don't actually own a TV. I don't do YouTube. So I'm kind of disconnecting from the world, but I'm doing it because I want to just, well, first of all, it sucks up a lot of time. And that time I want to be channeling my son and connecting with him and feeling his presence, and just whether it's channeling or talking to him or feeling his presence.
Yeah.
And I'm just choosing at this time to unplug a bit. But I have heard the best things about her and her channeling, and I know I will be plugging into that at some point, and it will benefit.
And here's the great thing too. She started taking the seminar she does. It's on YouTube, a little 10-minute bite. I go past the people that ask questions because they bug me sometimes, trying to talk all spiritual, just get to, but I'll get up there. She'll do 5, 7, 8-minute things. And if I'm having a particularly difficult day, and I'll go, oh yeah, but when you're ready, for you, when you're ready. Right now you're very busy with the other side and your son.
Yes, I do a lot of meditation. I have a yoga school, which I'm working on getting that curriculum online. It's ecstatic yoga. You can go to ecstaticyoga.studio and check it out.
Okay.
And I'm channeling my son. That's my primary thing, is channeling his messages every day. Every day. It's the first thing I do.
Awesome. It's awesome. You're so connected. You and he.
Well, he's my twin flame, for certain, for absolute certain. He is my twin flame. And I told my son that I told both my children, I have a daughter as well, and I told both my children since they were about 3 years old, 4 years old, and I don't know why. I have no idea why I would say such a thing, but now I guess it was all synchronistically orchestrated. But I used to tell them, because I've always grown up, I never grew up in a particular religion, but I spent my childhood in nature, and I heard my guides when I was little. My angels would talk to me, and I just knew for some reason that we were all eternal spirit, every single one of us, equal sons and daughters of the universe and God. And I used to tell my children, you don't need to grieve me when I die, because we're all infinite spirit. I will still exist. I'll be your guardian angel. I'll be with you all the time. I'll be the music on the radio. I'll be the birds chirping. I'll be the wind. I'll be everything. And of course, he wasn't supposed to go before me in my mind. Of course, he tells me that was our plan as souls. And I was a liar. I was a liar, because when I said you don't need to grieve me, I have grieved my son's loss. I know he exists. I know he's eternal spirit, but I miss that physical body, even knowing that. I miss his physical body deeply every minute of every day, but I know he is my guardian angel now. I know he exists, and he is everything that I told him he would be for me.
That's so great. That's a great place to be with that. Really. That's great. I believe that too. I really, truly do. I believe it too. And it makes it there's something very comforting about when people pass on and you know they're with you, you know, and then you can start communicating with them. And, you know, I have all kinds of that stuff going on, but I go, oh, hi, Mom.
Mm.
Yeah. I had a cat pass that my husband and I just love, love, love. And it was sudden. And my girlfriend Lorna said, "Oh, don't worry, he's going to be around, and he's already telling stories up there, smoking cigars about, oh, my family was so fun." And the other day, I had a dream he was walking right up at the middle of the bed, because that's what he used to do: look at you and walk, and then lay on the pillow, clear as day.
I would say it was more than a dream. It was a visit.
Yes, it was my Tucci.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Our love for animals, when we lose animals, that is extremely hard, because I've got my animals, and my son left me a cat, Xander, who
Xander.
Xander.
We have a neighbor named Xander. He likes to come out and go rub me.
His name, John named him actually Alexander the Great.
Aww.
But I call him Xander for short.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a long name.
We have a Xander, and then this little gray kitten the other day came to the back door. We let her in, just a little mitten.
Oh.
She went up to Benny, my dog. They touch noses, and my cat. My pets have all had other pets, so they're very. And then she kind of like explored the whole house, and then she heard the kids come home, and she ran to the door, and I let her out. So my husband said to the guy the other day, he goes, "That's our cat." Reggie goes, "Really?" Because he's been all over our house. The guy goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh yeah." Comes in, goes in the studio, checks things out. He found a toy under the couch, and then he leaves.
Oh, how beautiful. He
I
came
love
to
pets.
you.
I love them. I just love them.
Animals are so easy to love. They're so unconditionally loving. If we could learn a lot from the animals, the humans.
I've rescued every one of them for years.
Mm.
Yeah, I love them all, but I'm told I can't bring them all home, but I try.
Need to get you a little animal farm. That's one of John's things in his sanctuaries, is to have an animal sanctuary, and I will create that.
I'd love to have a house so that I could have a few kitties, let them go in the backyard, have a few puppies, because they have rules about only 2 pets in an apartment.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So one was undercover until he passed. He was in witness protection, Char. but yeah, I definitely have more pets.
Oh, yeah, I used to have 3 dogs for a long time. I and a couple cats. I can't have enough pets around. I've got 4 chickens.
I know once you get one, you go, well, I already have 1 litter and food. 2's not bad. I mean, what's it gonna, I know. Yeah.
A great source of love and comfort, companionship.
And when you're sick, they're great pals. They'll lay with you all day.
It's amazing how they know that, and I believe they're healing. When they lay there, they're sending their healing energy. How do they know? They just lay there and they just send their love, and I believe they're just sending love and healing energy.
I believe that too.
Well, I think it's been such a joy.
I know, me too.
Chatting with you, Connie. I hope to do it again sometime.
Me too.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's just so to meet you, and your vibrancy, your radiance, your beautiful heart, your wisdom. Wow.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'm going to wrap it up. So I decided today, 447 on my computer. 47 is John's number.
Wow.
I just opened.
He's like, will you 2 stop yakking? I have something to say.
So it's a perfect timing so I am going to read, I usually kind of do a spontaneous channeling, but I did it yesterday and I was a little nervous. And so I was reading this channeling from September 1st. And I decided I would just read it today. So I'm going to read the channeling. I'm going to be looking a little to the side because it's on my other computer.
Okay.
So please forgive me. Beloved human family, We are truly in an auspicious time in the timeline of Earth and humanity. We are now in the very infancy of our spiral upwards as a human race on planet Earth. The dawn has just begun to peek its head, and we have just now begun our ascent upwards to a new world. As I have mentioned in many past channelings, this spiral upward will be several decades, and each decade will expand upon the next to greater and greater heights. There is a lot of work to do in cleaning up the toxic, corrupt wasteland of humanity. There is a lot of work to do to shift all hearts from fear to love, to heal bodies that are dying of diseases from toxic lifestyles, toxic farming, processing of foods, air quality, water quality. As a humanity, we will be coming together to bring a powerful, positive impact for good for all humanity and the planet Earth. In a sense, we have pulled everything out of the dirty, disorganized closet, and it is time now in Earth time to sweep the closet clean and be very particular as to what we want to put back into our closet. We will need to throw a lot out that no longer serves our highest and greatest good as a human family and race of highly intelligent beings. We will want to be very organized as we fill the closet back up with conscious, clean, shiny, functional resources that will serve all of humanity in powerful and beautiful ways so that we all can be free, fully self-expressed, and joyously alive. We are creating heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is not only possible, it is already here. The distracted mind simply doesn't see it because it is distracted with thoughts of separation and fear. As we heal the fear and false separation within our own mind, because we are all joined like a large aspen grove of trees, we help other minds heal. And as more and more minds heal, a mass effect is natural, and all minds will eventually heal. Healed minds inevitably sources a healed humanity and world. It will take time, and time we have. Yet we don't want to waste time. We have created the illusion of time to allow the mind to crawl its way out of the illusion of separation and fear and emerge into the reality of oneness and love. We will all be going through this major transformation together, helping one another in every way possible, coming together to save not only the human species, but heal the entire planet. Human beings are the biggest problem on this planet. Before humans existed on Earth, all life coexisted naturally, and there truly was, and will be once again, peace on Earth. I may sound redundant in my counsel to focus on your vibration and raising your vibration to the highest frequency of love possible. However, This is what I will continue to repeat because it is the #1 most important and productive way to transform not only your life, but life on earth. In coming together to raise the vibration of your moment-to-moment conversations, thoughts, actions, and energy, we will create heaven on earth. It is a commitment, and when we become committed to peace, committed to keeping our conversations, thoughts, and actions at a high frequency, regardless of circumstances, unconditionally, we can truly move mountains. Anything is possible and nothing is impossible. That is how powerful we are as a humanity, as an intelligent, creative, and genius race. I would invite you today to begin to think of all of humanity as one organism. And you have the privilege and honor of cleaning up and transforming a small portion of the organism. Knowing the individual aspect you are cleaning up affects and impacts the entire organism. However, it is important that you keep your focus on the corner of the universe you are responsible for cleaning up. And don't go abandoning your post to help clean up a different job. Your life and your vibrational frequency is your responsibility and your part to play in this global awakening. Now let me give you an example. If we are on an assembly line to build a car, and you have been given the job of putting on the wheels, one day you look over and notice that Bobby on the line isn't putting the steering wheel on correctly. So you abandon your post to correct Bobby and help him do his job. Well, first of all, Bobby's job may be just to slap that wheel on anyway, so when the car gets to Jenny, she can adjust it correctly. You don't know the details of anyone else's job except your own. And if you abandon your post, the car will come out of the chute with no wheels. Now, with that said, if someone is not doing their job correctly or needs help, then training needs to be done, and it is quite appropriate. However, allow those whose job is to train others to do their job, do that. And you keep diligent with your mission of putting on the wheels, and all will work out wonderfully. This is true for the global awakening and transformation of humanity. Your job is to be you, to be your authentic self, to heal your thoughts of anything less than peace, to keep your vibration high, to share your gifts and talents and do what brings you joy, to live as fully, authentically, and fearlessly in love and grace. Humanity needs you as much as a car needs wheels. And even if you cannot see the crucial importance of your purpose for existing as a human being at this time, you can have faith and trust that at some point it will be clearly obvious what a treasure you are to all of humanity and the planet as a whole. Stay in your own business. If your business is to serve and help others, wonderful. However, don't give your power away to others. You are your own source of everything, including love, abundance, creativity, joy. Stay autonomous within your own vortex, rooted and grounded in your own being, focused on your purpose, not worried or distracted by others, not enabling others, but empowered in your own purpose, supportive of all the team, knowing the greatest support you can provide is to be committed to and focused on your own high vibration and divine purpose. When you are empowered, aligned, peaceful, and free, you have far more energy and power to serve others and all of humanity. The source of all the energy, love, power, creativity, freedom, wisdom, beauty, and grace you will ever need is within you. You are the source of your abundance, self-confidence, love, creativity, security, and deep fulfillment. Staying focused on loving yourself deeply, madly, truly, is the single most powerful action any human being can take. The next most powerful vibrational is to be grateful for all the beauty and greatness that blesses and surrounds you. I will leave you with these two most powerful practices: self-love and gratitude. Self-love can take many forms, yet they all extend from the authentic alignment of being your truest, deepest self. I send you all my greatest love and light, knowing you have infinite access to infinite love and light from within you always and forevermore. All my love to you, John the Beloved.
Wow. He was something.
Yeah, he's powerful.
Something. He's really something. Do you have other writings of his?
I have a lot. Yeah. You can go to oneworldstudio.com under the radio, and I have his Messages for Humanity.
Do you have that one?
I don't have that one yet, but I can send that to you if you like it.
Would you? I would like to put it on my bulletin board.
Oh, really?
I just like look at it every day. Oh yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Connie. Oh my God.
Will you email it to me?
I absolutely will.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
He's like, he had a message that was right on time. Just wish he was here to travel and tell everybody.
Oh, you know, and when you say that, makes me smile, because he actually has physically manifested to about 30 people.
Wow.
30 people, including my grandson about 8 times. That's a whole nother story, and I'm waiting for him to manifest physically for me. I invite him every day, every night. Every night I sit and have a beer with him.
It's the greatest.
He loved a beer, so we sit and I have a beer with him, and sometimes he doesn't finish his, and I have to help him out.
You know, there may be I just see like you traveling and carrying his message.
Oh,
you know?
Wow.
I see you traveling and carrying his message. Like, these are going to be things that people are going to need to hear coming out of this pandemic. People are going to need direction. They're going to need comfort, because there's a lot of PTSD that's going to have to be dealt with, you know, and they haven't set up how to help anybody. And everybody's going to have a different story.
Absolutely. And I know what PTSD is, because that's what I experienced after losing my son. I never believed it, right? I believed it. I didn't understand it. But it is real, because it is, I don't know what to grief, but it was also post-traumatic stress. I went through that.
But I
And
think you did it all the right way because you let yourself go through those channels. You weren't ready to like have a beer with him and do all that until you did your grieving. You had to.
I didn't do much of any. It was hard. Everything was
I'm
hard.
sure.
Everything was hard. It was like walking through marshmallows or deep snow, or every little tiny thing was for 2.5 years. It wasn't until about 6 months ago when I started kind of coming back. But I have channeled him from day one. I have channeled him from day one. That is the one, and I've walked every day. Those are the two things I really committed to. And that's my purpose. That's my purpose, is to channel his messages. I will do that to the day I die. That'll be the last thing to ever go. Even when I'm 102, I'll be channeling him.
Well, and you know, too, there are thousands and thousands of people that lost people quickly to COVID unexpectedly that are going to need comfort and a way to go to be able to live with that, to be able to reconcile it, and then have that person who's passed with them.
Yeah, it's
a
the
lot of work
hardest
to do.
thing. It's the hardest thing that I've ever been through. But I am committed to using it for good. I'm committed to turning the metal into gold. And I grieve him every day. I miss him every day. I probably cry every day. But I'm going to share his messages. That's my purpose for being alive.
You could be walking through Albertsons buying peas and just break out crying.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when my father died, I was like, what? I'm at the car wash. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Somebody goes, how are you? Fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember the first Christmas after he passed. When the music would go, I'll be home for Christmas, I just start sobbing, got to get out of here.
And you know what, I was telling Reggie this because we've had a couple of experiences. I said, what's so strange is that somebody passes and it affects you, and there's that phenomena of like you're standing still in time and you're like, how can all these people just be going on life as normal when this thing happened? You see people going out, going to the store, but I'm like, how can people be doing things? I'm in suspended animation. You're just stopped.
Absolutely.
Well,
Connie, you are, I feel like I've known you forever. I feel like I got to get to Las Vegas and meet you. And
wait till the winter. I'm cranky in the summer.
Yeah.
We will definitely meet, and call me anytime, and I'll do this for you anytime. I know. I just loved you from the minute you asked me.
Oh, thank you, Connie. You are a gift to humanity, a gift to the world. We are blessed to have you on the planet. Blessed to have you here on this show.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks. And send me that article.
I'll send you that channeling. Absolutely.
Because I'm going to read every word over. I'm going to highlight it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right. You have a great night. Stay in touch.
Yes. Yes. Okay? God bless you.
And when all this breaks, we'll meet somewhere.
We will.
Okay?
We will.
Okay,
thank you. Keep doing your great work.
You too. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.